Hello, it's Caroline Blinska. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm pretty disappointed. I was meant to do a live webinar training right now, starting 15 minutes ago, but due to circumstances outside my control, I couldn't get it to work. So I was actually going to run that on Google Hangouts on our as a Google Hangout. And I kept trying to load it and load it and load it, and it did not want to load. So hence I'm not doing my webinar right now. So I thought I'd bring you some of the training anyway right now. I do have a recording because I have actually done this webinar before. So everyone who has signed up for the actual webinar, I'm happy to send out that recording of the full 10 steps. So this is the 10 steps to 10,000 sales webinar. I'm just going to run through some of it now and just yeah, if you're watching this and you want to see the full webinar, the full webinar in its full entirety, then please let me know and I'm happy to send that through to you. Let me pull up the actual sheets. Oh wait, before I do that, I just want to okay, because I've got this thing going on where I'm live from. Let's have a look. It's really strange. So I'm having a look at where I'm live. It probably looks really dark in here at the moment. There's more light. One of my lights blew, like the whole thing blew, which is not cool. So yeah, it just. I don't know what's going on today. So the webinar's not working and the light blew all at the same time. So bad stuff. Oops, bad stuff going on here in Barcelona. But that's okay. We live and we get through it. It's not the end of the world. I can survive. Okay, now that's sitting up properly. Okay, let me have a look what I'm trying to do here. Something, actually, there you go. I do have this thing. I'm not a big omen person, but I do believe in things happening in threes. I don't know. That's like one of my things that I really do believe. The third thing that's also happened is my computer's being really strange. Like it's running really, really slowly, and I'm not sure why. Here we go. I'm going to share this back into the group. So wait 1 second. Oh, it's really weird. So I'm watching myself here on this screen, and I'm also able to see myself there on the laptop as well. So it's pretty scary. I'm trying to work out how to set up my the Open Broadcast software, which is the software where I can actually do these Facebook Lives from my laptop and not do them from a phone. But at the moment, I'm still waiting. Oh, I don't know what's going on. I can't do anything. Okay, share. Here we go. Okay, share. It's sharing. So I'm sorry if there's people here that were trying to get onto my webinar. So live now because webinar couldn't go live. Okay, where am I posting it? Posted in a group, e-commerce, backstage pass, there it is. Okay, let's see if this works. I think this is actually a really good idea. Yeah, my computer is my laptop's completely overheating, so it's not cool. I've got my little lucky owl up there as well. My nephew, one of my best friends, her son, made me that little owl, and I do love it. It was on a key ring, but the little thing broke off, so I just keep it up there now because I've got a little fascination of owls. Okay, so that's it. Let me pull up the actual webinar. Let's run through it. Pretty much, if you haven't seen this webinar, it's 10 steps to 10,000 sales. it's all about, so this is really for e-commerce. This is all about getting those sales, and some things that I see that are done really badly by people, and not because people are stupid, not because they don't want to do it, but more because they just don't know the right way to do it. Or, like I keep on hearing from so many people, which is so bad, they get given the wrong advice in the first place. So just today, I actually had a client of mine message me, and we were talking about something in particular on with her business. And she said, oh, I heard it from someone else. Someone else told me to do it that way. So I don't know if the other person was actually an expert or just someone who says that they know what they're doing. So you've got to be really careful about taking advice from people. I do also say to people, and I said this the other day in something, that the worst thing that you can do is have a family friend or someone like that give you advice, because I hear it all the time from people I know. But I know clients of mine that say it as well, that, oh, my Uncle Jim owns a lawn mowing business down the road and he's never had a website, but he thinks that I should do it this way. So it's really important not to listen to people like that. It's really important to listen to the correct people. Listen to the people who are already doing what you want to be doing. So it's really important. When it comes to getting sales for an e-commerce store, marketing is marketing to a degree, and marketing overall can be the same. And I always helped all businesses. I was doing marketing for any type of business, which was great. But what I found is that I've been doing a lot of work around e-commerce, and I think that e-commerce is a really interesting place because it's a very instant way of making money. That you can get someone coming from an ad into your website and buy from you straight away. Of course, there's some items that might not happen like that. There's one guy that I work with, and he makes furniture by hand. His is all hand custom made, so his orders are probably very, very expensive. So his orders do take longer to come through. But I just want to say, generally speaking, it is all about getting instant orders and getting instant sales. So I like that. I like the fact that it's very fast paced. I also love the idea of testing things and seeing what works and what doesn't. So e-commerce is really interesting to me. I work in partnership with quite a few different businesses where I have a partnership in that business. So it's their business, but I'm come in as a partner to do their marketing, and I take a percentage of their business. Normally I take 50% of whatever sales we make. We have a time schedule. It might be that I work with them for 3 months, 6 months, 2 years, 10 years. It really depends on the actual business. But I come in completely in that sort of area of saying, right, as a partner, this is what needs to be done. Then I've also got my own things. I had an e-commerce store many years ago, which was for large size lady shoes, and now I'm doing a new one, which I'm launching. And if you're not actually in the Facebook group on a regular basis, you probably don't know, but I actually am putting together sort of weekly touch point videos where I put together exactly what I am doing in my e-commerce store, my new e-commerce store I'm setting up. And I'm going through my weekly dramas, the weekly tasks, what I'm doing, just giving you an overview, because there's a lot of people out there saying, oh, set up an e-commerce store in an hour. But it's really, I'm not saying it's hard. I'm not saying that, it's the hardest thing in the world, but it's really, sorry to say, it's not that easy. There are a few people who have managed to make that work, but on a very different scale. And also it's not normal. So a lot of people who go down that path and they set up something in an hour and they say, okay, I've got a business in 1 hour. Most of those people are not making any money. And then I see them in Facebook groups and they're saying things like, oh, look, I'm doing Facebook ads and I'm not getting any clicks, and or I'm getting clicks and no one's buying. And then you find out that there's 100 things going wrong that are not so much the Facebook ads need to be fixed. There's many other things on the website that need to be fixed. And that's where this webinar came into it, where I decided that there is a way to get the 10,000 sales by doing the right thing. So these are the 10 steps that you need to make sure that you mark off, that you have followed all of these in your e-commerce store. Now, the internal dealings of each of them is slightly different for each business, but generally Okay, sorry, it just cut out for a second, my internet connection. Of course, because I'm in Spain, is not great here. So, sorry about that. So it doesn't matter what sort of business you own, if you are in e-commerce, and these 10 steps are going to be really important to you. So I'm just going to run through them all really quickly. I'm not going into a lot of detail, and I'll tell you why. I run a program called E-commerce Backstage Pass, and that program is designed to help individual businesses do what's best for their business. Every single business needs something different. So there's a lot of training videos out there that do this is going to answer all your questions, follow this, 6-hour training and it's going to answer everything for you. But it's really not as easy as that when it comes to overall marketing advice. There's certain things that you can pick out and say, do this, and you can watch it from a video. I'm not saying you can never do that, but to get yourself to that next level, if you want to go, if you do want to make 10,000 sales, then you're going to need more details. And so I've got this program, and my program actually goes into all of these areas in detail, but for each person individually. So if you want to know more about my program, I've got a really special offer at the moment, which is less than $500 a month, and it's just 4 payments. So over 4 months, you pay it off. I've set it up on a payment plan, and it's only at the moment, I wanted to do that for e-commerce stores that are sitting there saying, hey, I really, really need the help, but I'm not making the sales yet, so I need to get the sales to actually get the money, which is fine. So that's why I've put it on a really, really good payment system. By the time you've gone through my program, you're going to have that money to pay off the rest of the program without any doubt at all, because I know exactly what these areas are that need to be fixed. So that's my program. This is going to give you a general idea of the 10 areas you need to think about. And the first one is about being organized and having a plan, a strategy. So make sure you have some sort of plan. I'm reading off the actual, off my webinar slides, sorry. I can supply you these slides afterwards as well, or you can watch, like I said, the actual full webinar, which which I've done before, so I've got a recording of it already that goes into the details on each one. But really, you want a plan, you want a strategy. Too many people go into creating an e-commerce store and all they say is, oh, I want to sell something online, and now these days it's, hey, I'm going to drop ship, or hey, I'm going to buy something. Fred's just saying, hey Fred, yes, I haven't being able to get the webinar up and running, which I was going to tell you afterwards. I'll send you the recording. But at the moment, I couldn't get Google Hangouts to work. I was saying it on this live. I'm just going over the actual steps now on this actual live, Facebook Live, and then I'll send you the recording for the actual webinar that I've done in the past. So I've got a recording and I can give you the slides for it. And if you've got questions, please ask away below this video. So the thing is, you need to have a plan. So many people go down this path and they think, I'm going to set up an e-commerce store, whatever that business might be. And they say, they don't have a plan. They don't have any direction. They don't know how much money they want to make. They don't know what's a good result, what's a bad result. They just sort of keep going and going, and then they waste all their money, and they get to the point and they say, well, I've just run out of money. And then they have to shut up shop and go back to having a job. And that's one area that I say the first thing you need to do. If you really want to make 10,000 sales, you need to be organized and you need to have a plan. So you sit down, you write out your plan, and the best way to do that is you keep it simple. You have a look at someone else that's you want to model, and you say, okay, well, I want to model that. You don't copy it 100%, but get an idea from that. So this is where in my actual program, we go into this in a lot more detail. So I'll sit down with each person individually and help you map out the actual plan. So you know this. So you want to know how many sales you want to make. How many sales do you need to make? What is a good price that you can pay for Facebook ads? Because so many people I see say, oh, well, I want to spend money. I've got $400 budget on Facebook ads a month. It really doesn't matter your budget, because you could go and spend $400 a month on Facebook ads, but then your conversions are $80 a conversion, but your sale is only $20 a sale. So really, you've just wasted so much money on Facebook ads. So you need to understand how much money you can spend at the most on your Facebook ads, what's going to be beneficial, what is the point of doing it? Because if you're not getting a good conversion, then you've just blown your money. So it's not about having, I've got a $400 a month budget for Facebook ads. It's, hey, how much money can I afford to spend? Because trust me, if you start making those sales and you say, okay, well, each click can cost me $2. If I get 3 sales from every 100 people, then I'm going to have X amount. I'm going to spend X amount. And then I know that I'm making X amount of profit, so I can put more money back into Facebook ads. Then you've got a plan. Then you understand, hey, this is what I have to do. So you need to know that before you start. Too many people just jump in and say, oh, okay, let's just like give it a go. And it's not a great way to go. So make sure you've got a plan in place. The next thing you need to think about is your brand. What is important about your brand? This is one that every single person I work with, when they come to me with an e-commerce store, you can have 90% of people that do e-commerce don't have consistency through their brand. So you've got to have consistency. You can have a great idea. You can say, oh, well, I'm going to do this. Say, for instance, I'm going to have a Shopify store and I'm going to have MailChimp as my email. Then what they do is that their emails don't match their website. So spend that little bit of extra money and get the emails consistent, designed through to your actual website. So then there's brand consistency. So you really need to make sure that those things are in place. Are people relating to your message? Is your brand telling a story? If you're selling things like, I've seen this quite a few times as well. People have something that is for adults and then the website looks like it's a kid's website. So make sure that your website design, the brand, actually speaks to the right people. So if you're trying to sell, another one that I see all the time is people saying, oh, I want to do high-end products. I'm selling a very high-end exclusive product. And then they have a website that doesn't look high-end. So you've got to make sure that that's in place. Another thing that I see is that, you know, the colors are not properly set up. One of the guys that I've been speaking to, the background of his whole website is like this dark color, medium color, and then you can't see the pictures because all the pictures are sort of nearly the same. The colors are nearly the same as the photos. So everything sort of blends. You want your items to stand out. You want the items to be what everyone wants to look at. So you want the button to buy to stand out. You want the actual items to stand out. Don't make the frames around the images stand out. Sometimes if a designer does this well, they know what they're doing, let them do it. But if you're just setting up your own website, or if you're not paying for a very high-end designer, just make it as simple as possible. The more simple, the better. I would rather you spend less money on your website and more money on your marketing budget. I can say that I do both. I build websites and I do marketing, and I can tell you that the amount of times people come to me where they're already getting a website built by someone and they've spent, and I'm not joking, I know people that have spent $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 on a website, and then I ask them how much money they have for a marketing budget and they don't have anything left. And it's like, you've just spent all this money on a website, and how are you going to actually sell from it if you don't have people going to it? So I'd rather you have a more basic website, simple, you know, you can set up a Shopify store really, really nicely and cheaply and set that up and then spend your money on your marketing rather than vice versa. Think about your ideal client, your customer. Who are they? What are they wanting to buy? What are their pain points? Why are you selling to them? What benefit are you bringing to the table? Your website, so, you know, we were just talking about the branding of your website, but when it comes to layout features, things that I see going wrong all the time from people, and I can guarantee you this is bringing your sales down. So there's one woman I've been speaking to, and she has clothing items, and she has on the home page, she's actually got a photo of herself on that page and a story about her. Now, the thing is that someone's buying these clothing items. They don't want to see anything about her because they want to know more about those items. So her items are, you know, made in a really nice way. She's got 100% money back for refund if you're not happy. She's got free shipping. There's all these great features, but none of that's mentioned when you land on none of it's mentioned on the website. So, okay, so her story is interesting. She started a business, but that's not going to make someone buy, because you've got to think, if you take that away, anything that you take off the website, will someone still be able to purchase what you're selling without knowing that? So for instance, her story of this lady is not something that's going to make people buy. So her story doesn't need to be on the front page. So when you've got a clothing store, and I work with other people with clothing stores, you put your story on your about page. And there's some really interesting stories out there, but it doesn't need to be front and center. It needs to be about what you're selling. It needs to be about the quality of what you're selling, the features and the benefits of what you're selling. So really the benefits are really important. In her case, and I stress this to everyone, you need to put on there that if you've got free shipping, you need to say that front and center. If you're made, for instance, if in Australia, it's really nice to have made in Australia. So if you're in Australia and you make in Australia, say made in Australia, front and center, because that's a feature, because most of your clients, most of your competition probably aren't made in the same country. They're probably made in China or India. So then if that is something that stands out, then use that as a selling point. Make sure that you say that, and you know, people straight away associate, if something's made in a country like America, Germany, Australia, people automatically associate that with quality. So say that straight away, because that's actually a good selling point. Because as soon as someone knows something's made in China, we usually think of, and I've manufactured in China, so I'm not saying it's a bad thing, I'm just telling you just generally the rules is that most people think made in China must be bad quality. So yeah, if it's something that's made in a good, I don't want to say good country, in a country that is not seen as, you know, if it's seen as a country that's got a high quality of manufacturing, say it, make that clear. Is your website up to date? Do you have the right information there? Really, I can't stress enough, if you do free shipping, or if you've got shipping free over a certain amount of spend, make sure that's front and center. Make sure you've got a sign up box. Don't put there an opt-in box, something like sign up for my newsletter. That's like the lamest thing in the world. Think about yourself. Have you ever, when was the last time you ever signed up for something that just said sign up for my newsletter? No one signs up for that anymore. I remember when the internet was first invented, that's how old I am, that we would see that and go, wow, I get to give someone my email address. Someone's going to send me an email. I'm so excited. I'm going to have emails, because no one sent us emails back then. Whereas now, we don't want any more emails. We're trying to get off as many lists as possible. So you want to let people know that what they're going to get from you is going to be amazing, absolutely amazing. So for instance, I'll use as an example a company that I work with, and they do car hire. And they said, oh, but people only come to us once a year to hire a car. And you might have a business like this. You might say, well, why would someone want to be on my email list? Because they're going to come and they're going to buy something once and they're never going to come back, or they come back every couple of years. So this particular person said, and it also, this same thing would work with bikes as well. So this particular person said, but I rent cars. People don't come to us all the time. So why would they want to sign up for my email list? And I said, well, what do they do when they hire a car? And he said, usually they're on holidays and they travel somewhere. And I said, then why can't you send them a weekly email or bi-monthly email about traveling? Because they like to travel. So it might be something that you send them, you know, here's some travel tips of different places to visit around the world. It wouldn't be just your city, but then you'd have it branded with your information. This could work with bikes as well. So I remember a few years ago in Australia, I bought a new bike. If they put me on an email list saying something like, hey, find out all the best bike tracks in Australia where you can ride your bike. Okay, I'm not going to be buying another bike anytime soon, but if I'm signed up for their email list, which is about biking tracks in Australia, they already know what I like. Like, they're not guessing this. They're not sitting there going, wonder if she wants to know about bike tracks. I bought a bike. So chances are I want to know where I can ride my bike. So put together a weekly, a monthly email that says, hey, here are the places where you can go riding. And that's information that can be updated. So you might talk about one bike track, and then a few months later, you can bring that up again, because you can talk about something else about it, and then branding yourself. So then all of a sudden, that person who bought a bike once might not need another bike for hopefully 10 years, but something happened to the bike. It fell off the back of their car. So now it's broken. They're going to come back to you. Or their friend says, hey, I love your bike. You know, you go bike riding all the time. Hey, actually, yeah, you should check out the shop where I bought my bike. I get this awesome email every week. They tell me about where I can go riding. So things like that. So don't think of your email as having to keep selling to that person. It can be about helping them. So think about how you can help people from an email. And this is something I go into a lot of detail. Like this is a major part of my actual program that I've created. Like I said before, it's like $400 a month, $500 a month for 4 months. You pay it off, and you will find out exactly how to set up these emails for you. What's the best email? I'm working with a bridal dress company, a bridesmaid's dress company now. We're sitting down to work out exactly what emails she needs to put into her funnel. These girls are coming to buy, the bride is coming to buy dresses once for her bridesmaids. But how can we keep in contact with her? I had a bridal business many years ago in Australia, or a few years ago in Australia. I had exactly the same thing where I said, well, they're only coming to me once, but I'll tell you what, the amount of, I got pretty much everyone came through from an email and bought with never even having to speak to me because I had that email funnel set up properly. And you have no idea how powerful an email funnel can be until you've done one for yourself. It is absolutely amazing the sort of things that you can have happen in your business if you have a proper email funnel. So I can't stress that enough. If you don't have a good email funnel in your business, you are missing out on so much potential. And people ask me all the time, but I don't know what to write about. I can tell you now, if you come into my program, part of our brainstorming is what are the emails that we're going to send out for your list, and how are you going to structure those emails? How are you going to write them? What can you put in there? Is there a way you can add video to that? What else can you do to help that person? Can you give them a special offer where their friend can come and get a discount? You know, there's a million things you can do, and that's like a really big part of my program, is that I will be going through step by step, explaining to you how to do that properly in your business. Okay, number 4. So we're only up to 4. Number 4 is free and paid traffic. So I touched on this before. You need to look at where your traffic's coming from. This is a major thing. Like I said, there's no point setting up a whole website, going down that path, getting stuff manufactured, finding out that, you know, you've got to spend all this money on X, Y, Z, and then not having the traffic. You know, I make the comparison to, imagine if, like, I used to have a real shop. I had a hairdressing salon on a main street in Melbourne, and one of the main streets in the centre of Melbourne. And I always put the analogy down to, imagine if I had a shop down in a back alleyway where no one like knew they could get down there. And I put, and I fitted out the shop, and it was beautiful inside. And then I put covers on the windows, newspapers on the windows. I took the sign down from the outside, and I sat in there with, you know, in the dark with no window, no opening, and no sign on the outside. And I sat there and I went, okay, where are all the customers now? Where are all my customers? The thing is, they're not going to come to you because they don't know that you're there. And having a website is exactly the same. Having a website alone has nothing to do with you letting people know where you are. So you need to let people know where you are, whether it's a real shop or whether it's an online shop. You need to let them know. So you need to make sure that you have the traffic coming in. So paid and free, you've got to make sure that you're doing your social media. You've got to make sure that you're out there doing advertising. Like I said before, it's also much about the budget. It's about how much is that person worth to you. What can you actually spend? So of course you might sit down in the first month and say, well, I've only got $400 a month. That's great. Like, you've got a goal, you've got an idea there, but then you've got to say, okay, well, what's this going to buy me? You've got to test it out and say that's working or it's not working. Maybe you're better off doing YouTube ads. YouTube ads are much cheaper than Facebook ads. Maybe YouTube's a great place for you. Maybe Instagram's a better place. Instagram ads kick butt. Pinterest ads. Maybe you don't need to be on Facebook ads at all. You can set up an awesome system where you can run a Pinterest ad. If you've got Shopify, you can run a Pinterest ad, and you can actually have people clicking straight through to buy. And people spend on Pinterest something like, I think it's 70% more than any other platform. So Pinterest is fantastic if it's the right platform for you. So make sure you're looking at where your paid and your free traffic sources come from. And that is another thing. So I'm just looking, guest blogging is another thing that's massive. And I have a whole webinar about this. And like I said, in my actual training, this is a big thing that I go into is your traffic, because at the end of the day, if you're not getting the traffic, you're not making any sales. You know, there's only so many times that you can tell your friends and your family to buy from you. So you need to be knowing where your traffic comes from. So blogging, do you need to be blogging? Do you need to do guest posts? Another thing that's huge, and I talk about in my free PR webinar, is that I talk about how to get bloggers talking about you. And part of my program, which is absolutely awesome, I've got Alex, and she is just an absolute rock star. She gets over 1 million page views a month on her blog. She's called Travel Fashion Girl, and all she talks about on her travel blog, and I'm not joking, is how to pack for a holiday in a carry-on luggage for a woman. Okay, for a man, you men out there, you can do this. Like, this is easy for you. You probably just need a toothbrush. You don't even need that. You can just turn up to a hotel and you'll be fine for a whole holiday. But as a woman, I can tell you, this is like the craziest thing. I actually met Alex personally on a cruise. That's how we met, on an entrepreneur cruise. And she was traveling. So we spent these 12 days together, and we actually got off the boat together when everyone was leaving the boat. And the first thing I thought to myself was, right, I want to see what she's traveling with. And she really was traveling with just an carry-on suitcase, and I was just blown away. And I was there, we were in Portugal. It was a really hot day, and I'm looking at my massive suitcase going, oh my God, I wish that I was as smart as her. So she really does travel with just carry-on, and she's an absolute rock star. Her whole blog is only about this. So she talks about the clothes that you need to pack. She talks about makeup that you need to take, hair dryers, all of that stuff. She talks about anything to do with packing lightly. So she's a very niche blog. She gets over 1 million page views a month. Like, this is crazy to think, being that niche, how many page views. She is giving us free bonus training inside my program. And it's all included, and she's put together a program, and in that program she talks about how to work with people like her. So she's been doing this for many years, and she has had so many e-commerce owners come to her and say, oh, can you promote my product on your website? And she goes through in this training, in this bonus training that I've got in my program, she'll go through and explain to you exactly what not to do and exactly what to do. So you're hearing it straight from the horse's mouth. You're hearing from the person who will say yes or no to you. And then, of course, if she's the right fit for you, if you think that your product's right for her crowd, then of course I'll put you in touch with her. You can contact her and talk to her directly. It's no problems. I also have a video I did with her recently, a little interview in the e-commerce Backstage Pass Facebook group here. There is actually a video there that's with her, and she talks a little bit about what to do. So if you just want to get an idea of what she's talking about, there's some free video training for you as well. But the full content is inside my program, and that's included in that price. So less than $500 a month for 4 months, and you get her. I've also put together the first couple of people that come on for this early bird price, because this price finishes in, I should have known this before, it finishes in about 5 days from now. And it's the thing that I'm going to offer is that you get to also get into my mastermind, my private mastermind. Anyone who's already signed up in my program is included in that. And then any new people, I can only fit a few more new people. So the next couple of people that come in to buy the program now, they will actually be on the list for the mastermind, which is an extra it's an extra 5 months, 4.5 months. So you do the 6-week program, and then you stay on for another 5 months. It's like 4.5 months, and every month we meet up and we just talk between us, and we find out what more help you need. So you're still going to continue getting help from me. So I don't want to walk away and say after the 6 weeks you're done. It's only for a few more people that I can fit in there. So make sure you sign up now. It's going to be absolutely amazing, the amount of help you're going to get. I can guarantee you there's no other program like this. You will not find another program like this, and this price is not going to stay like this. This price is going up. After this actual program is released, I'm putting up the price because I know how much value you're going to get from this. It's going to blow your socks off. So trust me, you want to sign up. You want to get in at the moment on that special offer with the mastermind as well, because that's going to just help take you to the next level again. So the 6-week program with me, with 2 hours of me one-on-one, and the 6 weeks of training. And then on top of that, you're also going to get that mastermind as well. So you're going to be in a group of only e-commerce people. So this is where a lot of people go wrong. They get into these programs and they get mixed up with different people on different levels, and then you don't really get the help and advice you need. So this is going to be purely for e-commerce people. So it's going to be really targeted. You're going to get so much advice. I love masterminds. I'm in masterminds as well for my own business. So yeah, they're really, really helpful. Step 5 is sales funnel. What are you selling and what's the next thing that you can offer? So stop thinking of all of your items as separate. Think of them as how can you combine what. For instance, let's go back to the bike analogy. You're selling bikes. Let's say you're selling bikes and you think, okay, well, I'm selling that bike. Now think, what else? Okay, they go to the checkout page. Do they need a helmet? Do they need a water bottle? Do they need the pump kit? Do they need, what else can you sell them off the back of that bike? You go to Victoria's Secret and you have a look there, and you know there's all this person bought this and they bought this and this. So have those things. What's your sales funnel? What can you offer people as an extra? Email funnel, and I spoke about that before when I was talking about websites. So email funnel is super important. I cannot stress that enough. Like I said in my program, that's something I go into so much detail on, because this is definitely somewhere everyone drops the ball, is that they think, oh, well, I don't need to email people, but I can guarantee you're going to get a massive amount of sales just based on having an email funnel in place. So I can't stress it enough. I can't tell you enough how important that is. The next one's retargeting. Retargeting is super important as well for e-commerce stores. You should not be missing this. There's great systems now where it can automatically do all your retargeting without you having to do much work. Don't miss this opportunity. You can have one general ad, or you can set it up where someone looks at a pair of red shoes and then they start getting retargeted with red shoes everywhere they go to remind them that, hey, they were just looking at those red shoes. Do they still want to buy them? Social engagement. So this is not about getting your leads. This is about just well, you're going to get leads from it as well, but this is about how to get using social to actually engage with people. Maybe you want to put out how-to videos on how to use your products, unboxing videos. You have no idea how crazy people are about unboxing videos, and it's the weirdest thing to me in the world, but they work, and if they work, that's all that matters. So if you've got anything that comes in a box, if you can do a video just above it, if you've never seen this, go to YouTube and type in unboxing videos and see what happens. You can literally just put the camera above and say, take the pieces out. This is the such and such part. This is the next part. This is the next. And then you put it all down and you go, wow, I've just opened the box. And seriously, people go crazy about this. And you can get sales just based on that. So what can you do to interact with people? Maybe you can joint venture with people and work with them. So if you're selling, let's say, baby prams, can you team up with someone that sells a different item of baby products, and can you get together and get social together, have some sort of banter back and forwards, talking about each other's products? There's so many things you can be doing out there. Number 9 is about referrals. And so many people say, I can't get referrals. Trust me, you have not tried. My first question to everyone when they say this to me is, did you email people more than once asking them after they've purchased to give you a testimonial? Most people say no. So there's 2 different ways of doing it. You put together either a testimonial where you say, rate this out of 5 stars, and then that's it. And then they can just rate it, and that's just one thing. Or you might say, hey, give us a small testimonial. Or you might say, here's an example. Have you got something else that you can add to this? Or the other way that you do it is you have 3 or 4 questions, and each question just has like a give me a couple of words here to describe this, or what's your favorite part about blah blah blah, or did you enjoy did the shipping come in time? And they just have to write in a few words, and it is amazing what you can get. And then you can just take those words, whatever they wrote, and put their name to it and put it up as a testimonial. There's many ways of doing this, and I can guarantee you one of the hardest things to get testimonials on, I can guarantee you, because no one believed how great I used to get my testimonials, was in the bridal industry. So you've got to think, bride, getting married, all about her. It's her wedding day, wedding day's over. She's got what she wanted from you. She's now gone on her honeymoon. So you can't email her for that 2 weeks because she's away. And then you try to get in touch with her later on and she's planning to have babies, she's buying a house, whatever it might be. She doesn't care about you anymore. It's all about her. So now you're in a situation you've got to get a testimonial from them to put up on your website. Well, I can guarantee you, you just keep emailing them. Hey, just a reminder, do you mind giving me a testimonial? Hey, just a reminder, I'd love some, in my case, I'd love some photos of you. In your case, let's say you were selling these glasses. It doesn't matter what you're selling. Hey, do you want to take a photo of yourself? Let's tag you on social media wearing them. Blah, blah, blah. Maybe you give them a discount card. Maybe you say, hey, give me a photo, and that can be a referral. You don't even need to have a written referral. You get a photo of someone wearing your item and they've tagged you on social media. That is on your referral page. That's what you're going to put there. That's a good enough referral. I was talking to one of the guys the other day. He sells flooring for garages. His referral is that he has people send in photos of using his products and before and after. No one's written any words. No one's written there, hey, thank you so much for this floor. My car loves driving on it. He doesn't have to write anything. He's just got a photo. And that is enough of a referral. So how can you get referrals for your business? You can do it. You just need to be smart about it. And then the last thing that you need to think about is testing and analyzing. Make sure you're testing and analyzing everything. If you are putting up, for instance, let's say, for instance, you've got an item and you've got 6 photos of it. Why did you choose that particular photo to be the first photo? Think about it. Maybe you need to rotate it and choose a different photo. Maybe you should try out a few different photos, which one's going to work best. Say, for instance, you're selling, let's use glasses. Let's say you've got glasses and they come in 3 different colors, and you've got there the color, the main color that shows up on the homepage is the black version, but you've also got a white and a red version. Why did you put the black version? How do you know that that one's going to be the best one? Maybe because people say, well, 70% of people buy black glasses. Fine, but is that going to make that stand out? Because maybe you're best off putting the red one there, and then people will come down and they'll say, oh, I like that, but I don't want it in red, I want it in black. So you've got to think about that. So don't just think, oh, well, people buy in black, so in frames, so I'm going to sell it only pictures of black and put the red ones at the back. So think about what you're doing, split testing. So I'm not saying that red is going to be the best one and black's not, but until you test it, you don't know. Some frames, for instance, let's talk about frames. Some glasses frames are going to look better in certain colors than other colors when you first see them. So maybe you do need to change around the color than what you actually thought. Google Analytics is amazing for split testing. You can literally split test pages. So you might have a special landing page that says, hey, special offer today, 30% off these particular glasses, and you can split test 2 or 3 different versions of that page where people are automatically, you don't have to do this. You don't say, well, I'm going to do this page for 5 days and this page for 5 days and see which one gets the most sales. You're going to put 2 pages or 3 pages in, and you're going to say to Google, split the audience evenly. And what Google does is when 100 people come to your website, let's say you've got 2 tests that you're running, Google's going to say 50 people are going to go that way, 50 people are going to go on that one. And it's not like it's going to be one there, one there, one there, one there, one there. And then Google's going to give, Google Analytics is going to give the people the page options. That person's only going to see that page. And then you're going to look in the back end and say, okay, well, of the 100 people that went, 50 people went to this page and 5 of them bought, and 50 people went to this page and all 50 people bought, then you know which one's going to be the best, and you're going to use that and just turn off the other page. Super simple, works really, really well. It's so worth setting up. I highly recommend that you do some split testing. Those are the 10 points to 10,000 sales, and I can tell you that this is the difference between getting the sales and not getting the sales. It's all fine and well to say, oh, well, hi, Martina, you're just coming in at the end. We're finishing up in a minute. So it's all good and well to turn around and say, well, I want all these sales and not do any of these things and then wonder why nothing's working. I can tell you that I've sat down, I've been working with e-commerce stores for so long, and I can tell you that these are the 10 points that really make a big difference. These are the ones that make the difference between getting business and not getting business and not covering these off. It's it's detrimental to your business. And this is why in my actual program, I go into detail on all of these 10 steps in much more detail, but personally for each person. So if you're selling, for instance, bicycles and the next person's selling sunglasses, then I'm going to set up a structure for each of you separately. I'm not going to tell you that what you do is exactly the same because, for instance, like I said before, the person that is buying the bicycle is going to have a different mentality and mindset to the person buying the glasses. It's also the type of glasses, because if you sell really high-end glasses and really low-end glasses, you've got two different markets there. The type of people that buy low-end glasses are usually a different type of person than someone that buys the high-end ones. So those things you need to take into account as well. So it's not easy for me to say, hey, this is the one way you do it and everyone's going to go down this same path. That is why I've created this program, so that every single person gets personalized training based on what their actual needs are for their clients. And that's what we work through. So I'm going to give you the slides for this presentation. I'm also going to put a link underneath this video for the webinar version of this. I've pretty much gone through all of it, though I have been on for quite some time talking about it. Maybe the webinar version is a little bit longer, where I go into a bit more detail, but if you want to watch it, please go ahead. I'll put it below this video. I'll also put the slides, access to the slides there as well, so you can see these slides. They're pretty much in dot points, so they're not going into a lot of detail in there. The webinar pricing, the pricing on the webinar is different from the pricing I'm telling you now. That was a 3-payment system. This is actually a 4-payment system, so it's going to be even easier for you to purchase this time round. It's the same price, but it's just letting you split the price over a longer period of time, because I just want to make sure that I'm helping as many people as possible. I don't want you to miss out because of that, you know, extra month that you could have had to pay it. I'd rather give you an extra month to pay this program off, because for me, I know either way you're going to walk away with so much information that you're just going to be like, oh my god, wow, that's going to be easy for me to make those payments once you make that first one. So it's really about just getting that first payment in there for you that's a low enough price that you're going to say, hey, I'm going to be able to get through this. I'm going to help you make those extra sales. I'm going to show you all the things that you need to implement into your business to make all the difference in the world. Highly recommend it. I only have 10 spots in each program, running it a couple of times a week, so you really need to get in fast. Like I said as well, I'm only giving 2 or 3, I think it's 3 people that I can put into the mastermind. So the first 3 people that actually come in for this next intake, they can come into the mastermind with the other people who have already signed up, but I can't let everyone in, so it's really first in, best dressed. I might open up another mastermind, because don't forget, the masterminds can't be huge groups either, because it's somewhere that we have to be able to talk to each other on a regular basis. So it's not going to be a huge group either, so I really need to keep it small. So I highly recommend you don't miss out on that mastermind either. It's, like I said, it's a 6-month mastermind on top of everything else. I'm absolutely crazy that I'm giving you this, but I want to do everything possible to help you, that you're going to walk away and say, you know what, I'm getting those 10,000 sales in really quickly. Because if you're in a situation now where you've only made like 100, 200 sales in your business, or less than that, then you're in a situation where you really want to be getting to that point where you can get, you know, the 10,000 sales become a weekly thing for you, depending on what you're selling. So I want you to be in that situation where you can just keep up, leveling up, scaling up, and growing your e-commerce store. Because really, there's not many e-commerce stores that can't keep scaling. So let's help you put the right systems in place that you can keep growing your e-commerce store. So thank you for being here. Thank you for putting up with the fact that my webinar didn't work, for anyone here that was meant to come to the webinar. And I'm sorry again if you didn't hear me say at the start, I couldn't get Google Hangouts to load for some reason, so I came on here to do it. So go back and watch this video, because I've pretty much covered everything, but I will be giving you under this video the link for the webinar, and also for the actual slides as well. So if anyone has questions about the actual program that I'm running, e-commerce backstage pass, the program, please send me an email, Caroline@CarolineBalinska, or send me a private message here on Facebook. I'm here to answer any questions. If for some reason you're not sure still if that program's for you, like I said, it's less than $500 a month over 4 months. So I'm letting you pay it off in 4 months. if for some reason you're still not sure if that program's for you, just send me a private message and we can set up a time to talk privately. We can jump on Skype together, have a couple of minutes where, you know, you tell me what your business is, or you just send me a message and show me your website and I'll tell you if it's for you. But so far I can tell you, I have not met any e-commerce store that wouldn't be the right e-commerce store. Like, this is created for e-commerce stores. This is not created just as general marketing for businesses that are selling, you know, services as a dentist or things like that. This is purely for e-commerce. So you're going to be in a really good environment trying to build your e-commerce store. If you're in a situation where you're just starting out, sorry, I've got all these messages coming through and they're driving me insane. If you're just starting out and you are, maybe you don't have a shop yet, maybe you're in a situation where you've got a real store and you don't have a website yet, great, that's fine, because you've got a product. So this is a really good time for you to build up, hey, am I putting all my ducks in the right row before I actually get started? Am I not, you know, you don't want to waste the money that you could have been, you know, spending more wisely. So it's a great time for you. Maybe you've got a store. So a lot of people in my program have already had a store for a while, and then what their biggest problem is that they just can't seem to get the sales that they want to be getting. So that's what this program is purely for. That it's not made for someone who it's not made for people that are earning over $1 million already, because people like that are going to employ people to do. And I, you know, work with people like that where I actually just implement things where they don't want to or they don't need to know how to do this themselves. This is for people who are earning up to that sort of $150 to $200,000 a year in their e-commerce store. So from anywhere from starting out to up to 200, you know, $250,000. And then I'll help you get to that next level where you can just turn around and go, hey, I don't actually need to worry about doing this myself. I've got staff, you teach them, then they can actually learn the extra things. So this program is for someone who is starting out and they really want to get to that next level. You want to be, you know, bringing in not just $100,000 a year, you want to be bringing in $200,000 a year profit. So, you know, that's when you're going to get into the area where you go, right, I'm making this much profit. So that's what I'm here to help with. That's why I've put together this pricing structure. I sat down again and I said, okay, how can I make this that more people can come in without that worry of, can I actually afford the first month? Because after the first month, once we start working together, I guarantee you, you will not be thinking about where am I going to find the other months of the money. You're going to be going, hey, here, Carolyn, it's fine, I've got the money. Because from the very beginning, from our first conversation, as soon as you pay that first $500, $497, as soon as you pay that first amount, we will jump on the phone together straight away and we're going to go through an actual 1-hour audit of your business. So I understand your business, I'll be taking notes, I'll be recording it. We can sit down and work out all those things that you need. So then when we start of the actual program, you're going to have time to get some stuff into organization that I say to you, hey, you need to do this and this before we start. But then we're going to get into the program and I'm going to be able to help you every single week personally. So there's no other program like this. The other programs, how they work is, hey, here's a video, go watch it, implement it into your business. I also give you email support during the whole 6-week program. So we get off the call after we've done one of our calls and I've helped you. I've said, this is what you need to do. You're going to go away and you're going to implement it, or you're going to get help on how to implement it. And then you're going to be able to email me anytime and go, hey, Caroline, I started doing it. I'm stuck on this point. When we spoke on the live call, you said this, this, and this. What do I do here? I'll be there to help you. So I'm helping you all the way through. And then for 6 months after, 4.5, 5 months after the program finishes, you're still going to be touching base with me once a month in a group where we all say, hey, what's been going on this month? What's everyone been doing? How can we actually better the business even more? So I can guarantee you that the price of this program is going to pay itself off in a matter of a couple of weeks, where you're going to be in a situation going, wow, this has really changed my business. So that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to help. Everything I do is to help e-commerce stores. I have experience. I've lived it. I'm breathing it. I'm doing it myself. I help you. I'm not going to implement anything into your business that I know that I'm not sure if it works or not. These are things that I work with my actual clients, my partnership program clients. and my own businesses. So I'm here to help you. If you've got questions, please ask me via, like I said, under this video or in a private message, or let's jump on Skype together. Program starts in a couple of weeks, so you don't want to miss out on being in this program. It's going to be absolutely amazing. So let me know if you've got questions. Have a wonderful day. Bye.